If you are a homeowner in Berkeley, Jefferson, or Morgan County and wanting to move, maybe upsize or downsize or head south to warmer weather, and wondering if it's better to sell your home or rent it out as an investment. If you're wondering that, stay tuned. There's a few questions to ask yourself that will make that decision very easy. I'm Jana Classy. This is my husband Paul, and we are realtors here in the Eastern Panhandle. One way to get started in the investment business is to rent your primary home when you move. But to do that, certain conditions need to be considered. So the first question is, do you need the money from the sale of your current home for the down payment on your next home? If yes, then no need to go further. Selling is the answer. Although VA loans require no down payment, you still have to pay closing costs. And if your current home has a VA mortgage, you won't be able to buy another home using your VA loan unless there is money left in your entitlement. So be sure to check that out. But if you don't have cash in the bank and you need to sell in order to buy another home, problem solved. No need to go any further. Number two, second question. What have home prices in your area done historically? I looked up the house price index for West Virginia, and since 1985, it's been a steady climb up to a peak, of course, in 2005, and then things came crashing down in 2009. And then in 2011, prices started up again with small dips here and there, and now they are above the highs we saw in 2005. So long term, we know that real estate goes up in value. So the consideration is, are you going to rent this long term, or is renting a short term solution? Temporary dips in home prices are possible short term. So if you plan to sell after a year or two and prices dip during that time, you could be selling at a loss. And since we do know that prices go up long term, then the best plan is holding onto the house long term as a rental. If not, selling may be preferable. Number three, can you manage the property long distance, or would you be willing to hire a property manager? A friend of ours moved out of state about 10 years ago, decided to rent instead of sell, and did not want to hire a property manager. His tenant paid on time, so he's happy. But he did not raise the rent during that 10 years. So market value 10 years ago is way below market value today. So he was leaving a lot of money on the table every month, and it added up to a lot of cash. It is just about always a good idea to hire a property manager. The time involved in screening tenants, collecting rent, dealing with tenants that are delinquent in paying rent, repairs, preparing property between tenants, handling deposits, keeping current with market value. It's a lot of time and headaches. Property management companies are set up to handle all that. Plus, emotions don't get involved. When you rent out a home that you've lived in and taken care of, it's natural to want a tenant to treat it with care. It's a lot easier to switch to investment mode if you remove yourself from directly dealing with tenants. And here's a really good reason to consider hiring a property manager. You decrease the chance of being sued. If you get several applicants and you choose one over the other, you don't want the rejected party to sue you because you weren't aware of some law. If you hire a property manager, you don't even see the applications. They choose the tenant, so you are out of the loop. It just makes a lot of sense to hire a property manager. They typically charge somewhere around 10% of the rent. If you move out of state and do not want to hire a property manager, then selling is probably the best option. And just full disclosure, we are not property managers. but we can refer you to a good property management company if you like. Number 4, what are the rents in your area? You need to find out if you charge X for rent and the mortgage, taxes, and insurance is Y. Is that a positive cash flow? If your mortgage is $800 and you can rent for $1,500, then that's a good cash flow. If your mortgage is $1,200 and rent is around $1,300, you'll be in the hole after considering repairs that come along and the cost of a property management company. And FYI, in Berkeley, Jefferson, and Morgan counties, when you switch from a primary residence to an investment property, your taxes will just about double what they are now. So be aware and be sure to take that amount into consideration when you're figuring the cash flow. If you think there may be some tax advantages to renting, even with a negative cash flow, and need help with that decision, be sure to check with your accountant or attorney. We are neither. So you need to talk to someone with expertise in that area. Our superpower is helping you buy or sell real estate. If you decide that selling is the best option, you need the cash to buy your next house, or you just want to move on to the next chapter, then we would love to help you with that process. We've helped lots of people downsize, upsize, everything in between. So contact us anytime. 304-264-2828. And by the way, we do a great tour for our listings. We've been told by buyers and sellers alike that our tours provide the most information about a property that they've seen. Everything from a tour of the home, the subdivision, schools, shopping, commuting times. So if you're thinking of selling, check that out. We'll do something similar for your home. Okay, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next week. Bye.